Welcome to another episode of the 15-Minute a Day Care. Today's topic, how to stop being busy all the time. Hi, I'm Margot Staten of BeGoodToYourselfByMargot.com and welcome to my channel. Here I teach you simple strategies to improve your quality of life. If you're new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So let's jump into today's lesson, specifically 6 strategies that'll help you slow down. So if you're somebody who's busy all the time, and by busy all the time, you'll probably get a lot of comments from your friends and your family like, oh my God, I can't believe you did all of that in one day. You work so hard, you work too hard, you're always going. If you are that person, you need to slow down. I'm also that person. I manage 4 jobs, I'm a single mom. I still maintain a social life. I see my family and my friends, but I'm constantly going. Now, it's okay to be busy, right? Busy is good. It's not okay, however, to be a donkey, meaning you are constantly taking on more and more responsibilities, and you think to yourself, there are not enough hours in a day to accomplish this. If you are that person, if you end the day going, oh my God, how am I going to do this? There are not enough hours in a day. You're doing too much. You need to ask for help. You need to delegate tasks. And most importantly, you need to prioritize. If you continue to go and be busy all the time, it affects your physical health. It affects your mental health. You're probably not self-caring at all. And it's just overall not very healthy for you. And eventually you will burn out. There were times years ago before I sort of learned to manage my time better and work smarter instead of harder, that, I would face plant literally on the rug in my living room from exhaustion. That's not good for anybody. That's not good for me. That's not good for my daughter. It's just extremely unhealthy. But I always felt the need to go and, make money. And there were, play dates for my daughter and activities and shopping and, again, personal things, work things. And even though I was really good at time management, I was still, jam-packing my day with a lot of tasks that, quite frankly, weren't very important. And I would be exhausted. My days would start at 6:30 in the morning, and sometimes they wouldn't end until 3 a.m. And then I would be up again at 6:30 in the morning to sort of do it all over again. And everybody would tell me, you're so busy all the time, you work so hard, do you ever take time for yourself? And the answer was no. And at some point it got so bad that I was constantly exhausted. I lost a lot of weight. My mental health was slipping. I was ambushed by stress and anxiety. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing to myself? You need to slow down. So here are 6 strategies to help you slow down. So number 1, stop being a donkey, meaning stop taking on and carrying the load of the world on your shoulders. Your kids can help, your partners can help, your family members can help. If maybe you're in a situation where you can't really ask for anybody's assistance, then ask yourself whether or not this is a task that needs to be done right now. You also have to stop, if you're that person that anytime you offer your assistance constantly, or rather over offer, or a lot of times family members and friends and even colleagues, right, at work, constantly come up to you and ask for help, and you're like the yes person because you don't want to disappoint everyone, you need to learn to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. You don't have to be rude about it. But you can say, look, unfortunately at this time, I'm just not available. I don't have time for this right now. Can we maybe do this in a week from now? Or sometimes just say no. No, I cannot. If these are people that value your work ethic, if these are your friends and your family, they really shouldn't get too upset that you're setting boundaries. So stop taking on the load of the world, right? Stop taking on more work. If you don't have to. Look, I understand we all need a paycheck. We all need to make money. But at the cost of what? If you're working many jobs and you have children, are you spending time with them? Because those moments are fleeting, right? Kids grow up and they no longer need you anymore. Are you spending time with your partner, your family? If you're constantly busy, constantly doing things for other people, constantly working too much, you neglect to enjoy life. There are no happy moments. And what ends up happening is you wake up one day and you're 70 years old, you reflect back on your life and you're like, I worked for most of it. And that's essentially all you have to show. So again, stop being a donkey. Stop taking on every responsibility possible, and prioritize yourself. Number 2, very, very important, create work-life balance. You go to work, you come home, and you have your personal life. Okay? If your hours of work are 9 to 5, why are you looking at your phone at 8:31 p.m. and answering emails? Why are you looking at Slack messages? Why are you, answering phone calls? Why are you doing all of this? Your family's suffering, you're suffering. There's absolutely no boundaries between work and your life. And your life is what makes you happy. And again, there are times where it's crunch time at work and, we're super busy, or we're, maybe, we're going through an audit or whatever it may be. But in general, work is work, life is life. And work should not be bleeding into your work life, into your home life, because again, it's affecting you, but it's also affecting your family. Number 3, work smart, not hard. Again, I mentioned, I have multiple jobs, and it's a lot, right? When I sort of sit down every single Sunday and I make my schedule for the following week, it's a lot. But you have to work smart, not hard. So what that means is the tasks and sort of your to-do ticket items, they have to be important. You have to learn to prioritize. Oftentimes we're doing a lot of things that are unnecessary, or we're taking on responsibilities that we don't have to. Or, maybe there's something that, maybe there's a task that we need to complete, but we don't want to. So we're now doing filler activities. And we're essentially doing everything else but that particular task, right? So again, you have to work smart, not hard. And it takes time and it takes practice, okay? Number 4, stop being a perfectionist. Nobody's perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. Everything will never, ever, ever be perfect. Stop striving for perfection because it's not going to happen. Do things to the best of your ability. If you strive for perfection, which means you're double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking your work, you're never going to be done with it. And chances are draft 1 or 2 suffices. So again, you need to stop getting out of the mentality of expecting and working hard to make things perfect. It's a waste of time. Number 5, this is crucial, right? When it comes to being busy all the time. A lot of times we're super, super busy because we are not managing our time appropriately. You have to develop good time management strategies. And what that means, what it really boils down to, is having a schedule. Schedules should not live up here because life happens, you're going to forget, and because you forgot, you become overwhelmed. Because you're overwhelmed, you become stressed. Because you're stressed, you're bringing it home. Now there's a toxic home environment. Now you can't sleep. Again, it affects your physical and your mental health. So there needs to be a time management system. And what that means is either daily or weekly, you sit down and you go through the tasks that you have to accomplish and you schedule them. At 10 a.m., I'm going to do this. At 11 a.m., I'm going to do this. When I finish work, on Tuesday evening, I'm going to go to the supermarket. Maybe you have a supermarket list of what you need to buy. Because again, it's very difficult to forget things, and it's very difficult, especially for somebody who's super busy all the time, right? Who has a lot on their plate, which is most of us. It's very difficult to remember absolutely everything. Forget your memory, right? Invest half an hour to an hour once a week or daily, whatever works for you, and manage your time and schedule things out. Another thing with managing your time, and I kind of mentioned this before, is procrastination. You know when you're procrastinating. You know when there's that task or that project or that phone call you needed to make or that visit you needed to do that you're avoiding, and now you're doing all of these other things before you get to that one specific thing that you quite frankly just don't want to do. Whether you don't want to do it, you don't like it, you're nervous about it, whatever the reason is, you're procrastinating. Here's the very simple rule of thumb when it comes to procrastinating. That task that you keep pushing to the next day and the next day and the next day because you don't want to do it first. If you do it first, all of a sudden, all of these other things don't matter and you don't actually have to complete them. You're being busy for the sake of being busy. And what ends up happening is we function on routines. If you get into the habit of being busy all the time, you actually stop being able to not be busy, right? It feels weird. It feels awkward when you have half an hour, an hour to yourself, and you now start to feel guilty to sit down and, watch TV or read a book or exercise or self-care. Not only that, let's say you travel and you go somewhere on vacation. This happened to us a couple of years ago. I was traveling, and we went into a town where everything, I live in New York City, so it's just going, and I love it. But we went into a town where everything was slow paced. I went into a coffee shop to order a cup of coffee and it took like 15 minutes. I was freaking out. Oh my God, how does it take 15 minutes to get a cup of coffee? And it's like, but where do I have to go? I have nowhere to go. I'm on vacation. We're traveling. We're enjoying time with the family. But because I was sort of constantly in this mindset to always be busy, I actually found myself having anxiety with nowhere to go because it took too long to get me a cup of coffee. Again, these are routines and habits that you build, and they're very, very hard to break. And again, I'm not saying don't be busy. I love being busy, but you want to be productively busy. And you also want to make sure that you're scheduling self-care breaks and just breaks in general, and that you're completing tasks that are important and need to be completed. Not you're being busy for the sake of being busy. Okay. And then finally, number 6, in general, slow the fuck down. So what that means is, like I was mentioning before, routines, you need to slow down. If you are that person that's constantly going, stop. Stop for 10 minutes, stop for 15 minutes, stop for half an hour. Just stop. Eventually, you're going to collapse. Okay? What are you doing to recharge your batteries? Do you have a relaxation regimen? Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you practice relaxation. What do you do to take care of you? Why are you always going? How are your family and your friends going to feel when you collapse, or like me when I used to face plant into my rug in the middle of my living room at 2 a.m.? What good is that for anybody? Whenever there's a ton of tasks for you to complete, especially in the beginning when you're sort of retraining yourself to not be that busy, ask yourself, is it important? Do I need to do this? With good time management systems, with prioritizing your tasks, with delegating, you can still be busy, but be efficient, be productive, and work smart, not hard. Again, it's very, 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 very possible, but being busy all the time, you're doing a lot of harm to yourself. And chances are, if you sort of reflect back at all the things that you've accomplished, yeah, it might be a lot, right? Maybe you're checking off, 42, 45, 50 things in a day. But how many of them were important? How many of them needed to get done? And at what cost to you did you complete them? Okay? All right. So those are the 6 strategies to help you slow down. I really do hope that you kind of reflect back and sort of go through your day-to-day schedule and start to think about things that you're doing and maybe where you can sort of cut out some time. Again, I have times where I'm super busy, and my day is jam-packed from, 6:30 a.m. to 5, 6, 7 p.m. But on those especially very, very busy days, I make sure that I schedule self-care breaks. I make myself a nice healthy meal. I do exercise. Sometimes when I become very, very stressed, I just kind of take a walk around the block. Again, you want to make sure that you do slow down in increments, right? I'm not saying stop doing everything all at once, right? Life happens and things need to get done. But at the same time, again, everything comes back to self-love, self-care, prioritizing yourself, and being productively busy, not just a busy bee. Right? So I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And always remember to be good to yourselves.